Hey guys, and welcome to our top picks on Netflix. If you do like this video, hit a thumbs up and smash subscribe down below. So just before we start, I just wanted to say that everything we picked is series. So it's like our top picks series edition.
Series is.
Series?
I think it's just series. Series is.
It's our top 5 series on Netflix.
Number 1 on our list. It is classed as a dark comedy, and it is Afterlife, which I believe is written. Yeah, it's created by Ricky Gervais, and Ricky Gervais is the lead character in it. I normally find him really annoying, but in this, he is so funny.
Yeah.
So let's put it out there. This is not suitable for children.
Or anyone that doesn't like
Bad
the
language.
C word.
Yeah.
That is used a lot.
The C word is... So when we started watching the second season, which came out this year, the C word is said numerous times within the first, 3 minutes of the first episode. In a very strange context as well. It's just so funny, which we find it funny, but some people might not. So the overview on Google is: Tony had a perfect life until his wife Lisa died. After that tragic event, the formerly nice guy changed. After contemplating taking his life, Tony decides that he would rather live long enough to punish the world by saying and doing whatever he likes. He thinks of it as a superpower, not caring about himself or anybody else, but it ends up being trickier than he envisioned when his friends and family try to save the nice guy that they used to know. There are some really hard bits to watch in there.
Yeah.
It is
definitely.
Emotional.
It kind of obviously it is like a comedy, but it does hit like if you've had people go through certain events and that definitely
yeah, if you've lost someone close to you, it can definitely
but it also sort of shows you just like how certain situations and things to happen can put people in different places. I don't know if that makes sense.
I feel like weirdly the way that it's a very real program, so even though it has got this ridiculous comedy and swear wordy factor to it, the comedy to it kind of brings light to a very, very dark situation, but without taking away from that dark situation and the seriousness of it. It's so clever. It's really hard to explain without watching it, but there's 2 seasons. They've said they're going to be making a 3rd one because the second season did so well, which is really, really good. So I would really recommend watching it, but I would say if you're easily offended by swear words and bad language, or if you have lost someone close to you, it might be one not to watch. Or it might be one to watch. I mean, it might be...
Well, I think the whole thing as well is so you can have... It kind of makes you have a laugh about the darkest of situations.
Yeah. And I guess you could see how somebody else is dealing with that situation, and it might make you feel better about how you deal with it, or you might deal with it in a similar way. I don't know, it could just... It's very difficult to put it into words. It's such a good programme, though.
So next up, completely different to Afterlife. I mean, pretty much everyone's watched this, and if you haven't, I mean, why not? Where have you been? Friends. So obviously it is a favourite with so many people. Obviously it's old now,
really old.
It started in 1990 something.
Yeah, before we were born.
Late 90s, I believe. Mid to late.
It will say on your phone screen if you look in front of you.
First 1994, September 22nd. And then the final episode was 2004. Wow. Yeah, obviously Netflix wasn't a thing back then. No. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. And,
definitely not.
Obviously it came onto Netflix, and I think everyone started watching it. I hadn't seen it until it was on Netflix.
I'd seen some, but not all.
Yeah, and now we've watched it through multiple times. It just doesn't get old.
Times.
I'll give you the quick description that they've got on Google. But it says, follow the lives of 6 reckless adults living in Manhattan as they indulge in adventures which make their lives both troublesome and happening. And he said happening.
Basically, we're probably not going to say much more about Friends because we have high hopes that you all know what Friends is, even if you've only seen a few episodes. But watch it all. It's worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
The 3rd programme that we have chosen is The Rain. So we have literally just finished watching the 3rd season. It is the 3rd and last season, I believe. And it's literally only come out a couple of weeks ago, maybe. We've binged it.
It's recent, yeah.
So we discovered this one on Netflix. It's actually in Danish, but they dub over it with, I think it's American actors. So if you're one of those people who, if the voices don't match up with the pictures and it bugs you, don't watch it. At first, I think it was a bit weird for us to get used to it, but after a couple of episodes, you don't even notice it.
Yeah, you just get like so into the story that like you don't even like, realise it, to be fair.
So this one is, the world as we know it has come to an end due to a rain-carried virus that wiped out nearly everybody in Scandinavia. 6 years after that event, 2 Danish siblings emerge from the safety of the bunker where they've been staying. After discovering all remnants of civilization have gone, they join a fellow group of young survivors, and together they head out into a dangerous field quest throughout the abandoned land in search for signs of life. I'm not going to read the rest of it because it goes on for quite a while. But it's kind of like apocalyptic-y feel.
Yeah.
But it's also like, sci-fi-y.
Yeah, it's like end of the world kind of thing. Like this virus is coming to get you. There ends up basically like people have the virus but live with it. It doesn't kill them. Won't give too much away.
It's quite a complex storyline.
Yeah, because it's not. It kind of is like the virus isn't the only threat. There's like groups of people. Like it's very good, and like it's all like concealed like in an area.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like trying to get to the other side.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and obviously that basically throughout the whole thing, that is their plan.
Yeah.
Does it happen? Who knows? You have to watch it.
There are lots of very good friendships and relationships that build up, break down, have a bit of a hoo-ha. Yeah, it's really, really well made season. I think it's a Netflix original. Yeah, it is. It's a Netflix original.
Yeah. Right, so next up we have something again which is completely different. We're going back to comedy, and that is Impractical Jokers. So a lot of you have probably seen this. Obviously, it's like an American thing. Like, I'm assuming it's probably a lot bigger over there, but it was
shown on telly as well. My dad used to watch it on Sky.
Yeah.
On a channel.
I watch a lot of it on YouTube because I just flick through like certain ones, but it is on Netflix, which I think we watched.
Yeah. I showed you it on there first, and then you started
and
watching
got into it from there. Yeah, of course.
Netflix.
So the first episode was 2011. They still make it now. So what? Nearly like 10 years.
They've released a film as well.
There is a film. It's very different to like their like normal
I
show.
wouldn't recommend the film.
Like, I liked it, but it's not as funny. Like, if you want it for more of the pranks and whatnot, like just watch the series. So it says the 4 friends challenge each other with a series of awkward and outrageous dares. If any of the 4 refuses to complete a dare, he loses and must endure punishment.
They are the most ridiculous things.
They're just like big kids. So they might be in like a shopping centre or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, you have to, I don't know, like put your nose on someone's back, or like, you know, like put a body part on like another body part, and it sounds ridiculous, but like they have to obviously then do that. At the end of each episode, there's a loser that has to do a punishment. Which they can't refuse. Yeah, they can't refuse it. So, what was one of the punishments? A lot of them are like they have to give speeches. So like they have to pretend to be like a professor in front of like a uni or something like that. Like the Aladdin one. Oh yeah, one of them. Was it Joe? Yeah. So Joe on there, like he ended up being Aladdin in like a theatre play. No, he was the genie in Aladdin. Oh, sorry, yeah. What the hell? And he literally like was flying him around because he had like the wires on him, like so he was just flying through the air, wrecking the set. And obviously everyone watching had no idea. Yeah. But it's just really funny, like. Yeah, it's kind of like if you know what Jackass is, it's kind of like that, but family friendly. Yeah. Like there's it's not inappropriate to that level at all. Mm-hmm. It is just childish, harmless fun, really. It's literally just harmless pranks, pretty much. Yeah. And like they absolutely love each other. Like it's funny. Like they're all so different, but they're also like funny as well. Yeah. And some of them, there are a couple out of the 4 which I think are probably our favourites because they are just so good at what they do. Like, they're all brilliant, but you learn to love each one of them for different reasons. Yeah, so definitely go give that a watch. Okay, so lastly, again, this one is one probably not for everyone. Some people I know started watching it and
sacked it off quite quickly. But it is Sex Education, so it's another Netflix original. There's 2 seasons of it at the moment. I'm assuming they're going to be doing a third.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there is a third.
I think they were doing it and then Corona happened.
Something like that. Look, I'm sure I read something about it, but yeah.
So the only person I can think of that's like famous that you might know in it is Gillian Anderson. So she plays the mum of one of the kids who is basically a sex therapist. So there are some awkward scenes in it. Don't watch it with your parents. It's one of those where you will just want to switch it off. So the storyline is socially awkward high school student Otis may not have much experience in the lovemaking department, but he gets good guidance on the topic in his personal sex ed course, living with his mum Jean, who is a sex therapist. He is reluctant to become an expert on the subject, but his classmates learn about his home life and he decides to improve his status at school by using his insider knowledge, and they set up an underground sex therapy clinic to deal with their classmates' problems, and this is with his friend Maeve. And then he realises that he may need some therapy of his own. Eric is so he's a gay character. He likes to dress up and do drag. He is my favourite character. He is so funny.
Wash your hands, you dirty pig.
You dirty pig.
It's so good. Like, just give it a watch. Like, it might take a few episodes to get into it. But, like, once you're into the story and that, there's so many things. Like, you get left on a lot of cliffhangers of what's happening next, what's going to happen. Like,
it's very educational as well.
Yeah.
Sex education.
Well, yeah, it says it in the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. But that is going to be all 5 of our, like, picks on our series picks on Netflix. That's
series picks on Netflix.
Right. Obviously, these might not be your favourites. They're just like, I'm not saying they're our favourites. They're just like our 5 picks at the minute that we choose to watch. Pretty much what we'd recommend.
We tend to watch stuff separately as well, and we watch stuff on YouTube. But this is what we've watched together and really enjoyed.
Yeah, they're like sort of 5 standout series that we've watched. So obviously, let us know down below like what your like favourite series is, or even like films, just favourite films on Netflix. Yeah, like recommend us some because we're always looking for more to like watch together. And obviously, if you have liked the video, hit it with a thumbs up and smash subscribe. And we will see you real soon for another video.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.
Ding dong.